I'm Brian Jodas, 43 Hello Kitty, and this is the F3 Circle of Trust. From the F3 Nation Podcast Studios.
I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
This is the COT Podcast, connecting the packs of F3 Nation through fitness, fellowship, and faith.
Andrew Maggio, 35, Wirebiter.
Mike Kiriko's 35, Saganaki.
Michael Barrett, 40, Rep Sleepy.
Peter Ranky, 63, Bambi.
COT Podcast starts right now.
Shut up and sit down.
What is up, F3 Nation? A happy Thursday afternoon to you. It is your boy, Hello Kitty, and you are watching the F3 Circle of Trust, and I'm grateful as always that you are joining me here to talk about all things fitness, fellowship, and faith, the things that we're seeing happening in and around the gloom. And so grateful that you're carving out a little bit of time if you're watching live across the F3 Facebook or YouTube channels, or if you're listening to us on the archive and the podcast. Thanks, as always. I got a couple of high-impact men that are going to join the show in a matter of moments. Pure Lead and Roma, two amazing bros that I have the privilege of having spent some time in and been in prison with these two dudes. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, their mission to help accelerate men in and out. And then also, we're going to have a conversation about, hey, what can we be doing in our communities to reach more men? So grateful that you guys are here. There's been a lot happening. Had the week off last week for family vacation at the beach. Had the Repeato family with us. The big fella had some conflicts this afternoon, so I'm going to roll solo here, but again, bring in some high impact men. And man, had a great time just in the surf, in the sand, in a little bit of rain, little rainy week, but that's the way it goes. And but good and good to be home and grinding. Had the queue at Bradford's Ordinary this morning. Substituted in, got called in by the Nantan of the Carpex region himself. Prodigal had a little bit of a back issue after some hoops. And he said, I need you, HK, need you coming off the bench. And I said, I got you, bro. So we did 777s and didn't even realize this until we're done. SkyQ had us covered on this one. 21 packs in the COT for a day of 777s. Come on, bro. Outstanding. So that was great, and I had some fun there as always. And we're going to talk about other F3 stuff that's happening. We're going to hear from Dark Helmet, who is on the Spartan podcast with Joe DeSena. We're going to show you guys a couple of amazing convergences we saw, and we're going to check in with you across the social media feeds. As always, extra credit fired up for today's show. What's up, brother? A loyal live watcher on the Facebook machine. And if you're watching on Facebook or the YouTubes, you can comment and then we can pull it up on the air like this. Howdy, fellas. Great day to be a PAX. Good to see you, Funny Car. We have an update from Hampton Roads that you sent us. So thanks for that as always. And of course, big Tom Martin, Bronx Bomber from Green Level checking in. Good to see you, brother. And there is Kaka, the Eagle. The Eagle making his way across the YouTube channel there. Good to see you as always. Been a while since we've heard your voice, Eagle. So we're overdue for that. We'll get you on here soon enough. That's for sure, my friend. Couple of sponsors to thank before I bring in my two amigos today. And man, thanks so much to the fine folks at MGN Industries. Let me tell you about true pros when it comes to windows, whatever you want to call them. We all have them. We all need them. And we know there are packs across this F3 Nation that are in construction, building, development, general contracting. You guys need to know about MGM Industries with their innovative designs. MGMs offer the architectural look of classic wood windows, but yes, those maintenance-free benefits of vinyl. And the best part is it was our guy, Paul Gensler, F3 Press-On, and his company, Window Reps, who brought these guys to you and can bring them to you. So go visit sales@windowreps.com, hit them an email there, or go visit mgmindustries.com, and you can find out the best. Their reputation speaks for itself, so get in touch today. And maybe, just maybe, you saw the updates from the guys at F3 Gear. Breaking news this week, finally, coming to the gloom near you, F3 Coffee. That's right. You love Coffeeteria. You love those moments after COT where the bonds can be taken a little bit deeper. Well, now we've got in the gear store F3 coffee, and it's our F3 bro Lurch from Alpharetta, Georgia, who's behind this in this coffee company called Valor. So I'm going to let Lurch introduce you to this amazing coffee that's now available for U-Packs in the gear store and tell you a little bit about why they do it, their passion behind it, and what you can expect when you pick up a bag yourself. Here's Lurch.
When it comes time for Circle of Trust, coffee is an essential element of that experience. What's up, F3 Nation? Ross here, aka Lurch from Valor Coffee in Alpharetta, Georgia. I want to tell you about the official coffee of F3. It's a coffee from Brazil that we've roasted a little bit darker to sort of give you those like bold, dark chocolate notes that we all love. It's really great for just a pot of coffee at home if you're doing that, or any coffee geeks out there that like brewing espresso at home. It's great for that as well. So a little bit about Valor. We started back in 2016. When we were 19 years old. We started off as this little coffee stand that was mobile, and we would go around to movie sets and neighborhoods and literally anywhere that would give us business and brew coffee for people. Since then, it's turned into us roasting our own coffee, which we really love doing here at our facility. And then we also have 2 cafes. Be sure to go over to the F3 gear store and grab you a bag of F3 coffee. Thanks so much.
Outstanding. So there it is, F3 coffee officially here. We've been teasing it, talking about it for the last few weeks. It is now available in the gear store. Free shipping on this coffee. You can get it by the bag, or you can get it on subscription too. So you can buy a single bag, right? Check it out. Comes in whole bean or ground. And you also have the opportunity to save $1 a bag if you subscribe. So man, go check it out. And you're helping a guy that is in F3 that, was part of launching this thing with his buddies, when they were 19 years old. Look at them now, man. They've got brick and mortar shops going, and it's a big part of what we do, right? That cafeteria. And so whether you're PLC in it, like I know a lot of guys like to do, brewing up that coffee, maybe you got a little something happening there at the side of the globe. We've seen so much creativity, man, right? You either bring it in a big jug, keep it hot, or we got percolators across the gloom now, where guys are legit like firing these bad boys up before the workout starts. So excited for F3 Coffee to be on board. Go to the gear store and check that out. And last but not least, thanks to the fine folks at livemomentous.com. They've got all your health, wellness, and supplement needs all under one roof. My code there to save some cash, because you know what you want: whey protein. You need vitamins. You're looking for things to help you perform at your best. Why don't you go there, save a little bit of cash? Brian J, the code at livemomentous.com. All right, let me check in with the packs here on social before I bring Roma, one of the fastest packs in all of F3 Nation, according to Atari. I've seen it in action. He's quick. And, of course, my man, Pure Lead. But before we do that, we got guys just sounding off all over the place. Jolly Rancher from St. Louis, checking in the mega region that is St. Louis. Sheldon in the house from Des Moines. The whole dang country covered here. Southside, what's up, Splinter? Good to see you. As always, man, good stuff happening there. I'm with you, Funny Car. F3 Coffee. Fired up, man. Fired up. That's good stuff. What about Tom? What's Tom say? If interested in how to plant, grow, and serve a kettlebell workout in your region, contact with us at the Kettlebell Workout Channel on F3 Nation Slack. Let me tell you something. I've seen Tom Martin, F3 Bronx Bomber, transforming dudes in West Cary. That's getting strong, man. Absolutely love it. All right, good stuff. Let me bring in my guests of the day. GOTD. Guests of the day. New segment here. Pure Lead, what up? Roma, what up? We got Seattle area, I'm assuming today, Pure Lead covered. We got Houston Tejas covered with the Roma Tomato. What's up, fellas? Good to see you.
What's going on? Happy to be here.
What's up?
Man, excited to do this, man. We've been trying to link up for a few weeks. If you guys, we've talked about this a lot. We've talked about it here. I've talked about it on the Pick Up the Six channel as well. The story of these two gentlemen, if you're not familiar with it, I'm going to give you the cliff notes and I'll let them share it. But the short and sweet of it, but it's a long story, involves the man on the right there, Roma, serving time, coming out after being rehabilitated, looking for a network and a place to go, and the man in the middle there literally picking him up on day one, taking him to the gloom, getting him involved in F3. I mean, that's the short and dirty, right, Pure Lead? But put a little more context and color around it.
Sure. Hey, everybody. Hey, F3 Nation. Leonowski, 47, Pure Lead.
Pure lead.
And,
Almost respect. Getting there.
Almost respect. Yeah. Just in case you are wondering how the hell does anybody get a Pure Lead as a nickname, it's what happens when you go first time to Q school. Your first coming to F3 is a Q school, and they say, what are the 5 principles of F3? And someone says, pure lead, and I didn't hear it, so I said, pure lead, like, the heavy things inside between legs. And everyone laughed, and our Nantan said, that's your name. And I said, what name? What are you talking about? So that's what we got. We got pure lead. You have to say it with a rolling Russian R. I'm originally
a little bit of a Russian R there.
Yeah. I'm originally from the Soviet Union, which actually plays a role in the story a little bit. But the story is I was Roma's teacher at Monroe Correctional Complex. I was teaching a 10-month intensive program called Defy Ventures, or CEO of Your New Life. Yeah. And he was one of my star students, and he immediately shown himself to be a ringleader, pun intended, and was able to not only succeed in the class itself, but he organized others and made sure that others actually stepped up. Yeah. And I told him about F3. He'll tell you a little bit later. He scoffed at me, looking at me, thinking how poor the organization must be if they accept someone like me. But where you are absolutely right, and where it really makes a difference, is him and I already had a relationship over 2 years. He's already proven himself to me. But on the first day of his release, I was there. And out of all the other things that I've helped him do, from the inside the prison, outside the prison, helping him find a job and other stuff, the thing he always talks about is that I met him on the first day. That was the thing. And since then, he's become more than a student, more than a brother. He's really a brother. He is and someone that I genuinely love, care, and respect. And you are right. He is one of the fastest strongest men in F3. Take it away, Roma.
Well, let me do this real quick, and then we'll bring him in. I've been very blessed to have a lot of experiences in life, just through F3, through Mammon, through growing up in the military house and getting to move around. Over the last 2 years, one of the highlights of the last 2 years of my life have been the 2 times we've been able together go into the Monroe Correctional Complex there in Monroe County, Washington, just north of Seattle, and be part of this CEO of Your New Life through Defy Ventures entrepreneur and training program, which is an intensive program that identifies men on the inside of this correctional facility, works them through their resume building, their networking skills, their ability to plan around, if and when they are released, to give them a leg start, right? Like a jump start on what are you going to do, right? And so it has been a real honor to see that program in person, and on the first go around to go in for Roma to go back in and to teach the men who he had served in there with. And so Roma, the day that after all that happens, right? After everything in your life happens, that pivotal moment you come out, this red hair, passionate, energetic guy is waiting for you that first morning to take you to F3. Man, that's got to be a game changer, bro, for somebody to kind of be there and to really you saw this guy a lot inside, but then to be there when you get out, that's a big difference, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. Victor Sauceda, 34, Roma here.
Roma.
Calling out of Cypress, Texas, right near Houston. But anyhow, yeah, the first day is a huge difference. I went to prison 2 times, and I think that's one of the biggest differences is just being able to have, people that believed in me and me believing in myself. But Pure Lead definitely believed in me. He was there for the first day. He was advocating for me, before I even got out. And, after I got out, he was continuing to advocate for me, help me land my first internship, which with other F3 packs, Cold War out of F3 Seattle. So it's all about connections, but really appreciate him introducing me to F3. It's had a tremendous impact on my life. And I can see the value that it has for other individuals that are leaving incarceration.
The organization that brought these guys together is called Defy Ventures. Their website, defyventures.org. Nonprofit, need your help, so go support them any way you can. They are doing incredible work. We've all seen it. Those guys have lived it, been able to see it up close and personal. Part of our conversation today, guys, and the reason I wanted you guys to come on and talk specifically to the men of F3 Nation is, look, we've explored ways in which to try to bring F3 in and bring that boot camp style workout into these guys. There's obviously different challenges and just levels of which you can do that, right? I mean, you're talking about an area that even in Monroe Correctional, where they really try to push away gang activity and kind of affiliation, you're always going to have challenges, right? So we've talked before about trying to bring that in, but really the point of our conversation today is around when guys come out, like when you're in Roma's shoes. And if we're going to talk about leaving no man behind and trying to bring F3 to every man, are we going out and finding guys like him to be able to do that? And Pierre, I know it's just something that you're obviously really passionate about and want to take some time to just talk about, like, and almost kind of challenge the packs a little bit. Like, where are we going, guys? What are you doing with this thing?
Without a doubt. Thanks, Hello Kitty. And this, what I'm about to say, goes straight to all of you who are listening. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, check this out. We're awesome. F3 is awesome at picking up the 6. Out of everything else that we do, in my opinion, I've been in F3 for 6 years. Out of everything else that we do, the thing I believe we do best is to pick up the 6. Every one of us knows what it feels like to be the 6th. I more than others. They call me pure modify sometimes. And but we also know what it feels like to turn around and go and pick up the 6, someone who's struggling in behind the packs, and you know that they would never come back if that wasn't for that. True?
Yeah.
True.
Right. Yep.
So we do well there. Where we fail, I believe, or we can do better, is we fail to pick up the 6 outside. People who are not like us, people who don't look like us, people who don't act like us, people who themselves might say, this is not for me, or they're too good for me, or they're too this or to that. Chances are, more than likely, there was no other way that Roma would have joined F3 if I did not drag him out, right? We have EH for a reason. And the point here is that I am challenging you, the packs, to broaden your definition of picking up the 6, to picking up the men who are stuck, whether they're coming from a bad situation, whether they're depressed, whether they're suicidal, whether they are dealing with other issues, right? Yeah. Show up, go back for them, bring them in, right? So same strategy, just different analysis and different perspective. And I really believe that the irony is that between me and Roma, there is no competition, all right? Let's just be honest. He is 3 times stronger, 5 times faster, right? But I was the one who brought him in.
Yeah.
So the idea is you don't need to be all that. You don't need to be the star in order to bring in people who then blossom into these incredible leaders. You just need to be there at the right time in the right place and have the guts to show up and bring someone in. Especially those who are formerly incarcerated. We'll talk more about that later. But that advice of broadening your mind, pick up the 6 from the perspective of go out there, talk to people who are not like you, and take a chance. You can do that with anyone.
Yeah. Roma, what do you think about Pure Led's comments specifically around, because I mean, this thing can probably be kind of intimidating if you're on the outside looking in and you have this group of guys and they're all buddies and they work out all the time, but maybe I come from a different walk of life, or maybe I've just been released, or things like that. Just thoughts on what he said there.
Yeah, that's kind of been one of the challenges that I've seen over the years. I've been in F3 almost 5 years, coming up in October, so celebrating that pretty soon. But typically, like what you expect out of an F3 workout group is, middle-aged white men, and so it's kind of hard to relate to individuals like that, especially coming from a criminal background. Grew up around gangs and trying to be comfortable around people that you're usually not comfortable with. And so like just breaking that barrier, having people that are willing to welcome you in and show you something different. I didn't know I needed F3 that much until that point, and I think that really made a difference because individuals are welcome you regardless of your background. They didn't ask me, hey, have I been to prison or anything like that. Most of the time I have to share it with them, and then they're like, oh, that's awesome. I would have never have thought that. But that wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for me just like overcoming, my own personal fears of not being able to relate to individuals and, wanting to learn a new walk of life. So I'm really great, but I also see the challenge that's presented, for individuals or attracting individuals like myself, because, it's not full of, formerly incarcerated people that are in F3. So the idea is we do want to be able to create diversity and make all individuals, all men feel welcome.
Well, I think that, we in most workouts, you might say all 5 of the sort of core principles of the workout of F3 before you start, right? And if you're going to talk about being open to all men and what can we do to continue to, and I think just part of us having the conversation today shows we care about it. It's something we think about, right? And we're always looking for ways in which we can get this thing to more people. We've seen what it's done in our 3 individual lives. We've seen what it's done for thousands of guys across this nation, expanding, right? Expanding into different states, expanding into to communities that maybe where this thing started at, we weren't in. And I think it's just, this is part of when you're in a leadership organization like this, looking around saying, okay, are we fully embracing, are we fully accelerating those 5 core principles? Are we always keeping this thing free? Are we making sure it's open to all men, right? Are we cheating on the held outdoor stuff? Are we doing stuff that, right? Like we got to just constantly be aware. Are we encouraging new guys to lead, or are we letting the same 5, 6, 7, 10 guys in the region lead? And then are we gathering around each other in that circle of trust at the end to have real conversations, talk about things like this? The name of this show is the Circle of Trust. We should be having conversations here like we would be if we were in an SLT in our region. How's our region doing? How's this nation of ours doing? And I'm excited to see the way in which I've heard leaders sort of at the national level, I'm using air quotes there, talk about, hey, listen, let's make sure everything we're doing here is focused around invigorating male community leadership, unlocking men, getting them accelerating across the board. Right, guys? I mean, that's what the focus has got to be here. Pierre, what do you think?
I think that you're absolutely right. I think in addition to our 5 principles and the leave no man behind, I think the other really key thing I've learned is that tagline, right? Leave no man where you find him, right? No, leave no man behind, leave no man where you find him.
Yeah, that's an important part of that. It's an important.
It's a huge piece of it, and that means what I want to focus on here, though, is leave no man behind, which means that you see a man lying behind, don't leave them there. Don't leave them there, and they don't have to be poor and out of luck people, right? Tomorrow, a big wig CEO guy wanted to meet with me. I said, sure. He's a fitness guy, right? Sure. I'm like, he's like, what time? I'm like, 5:30. He's like, 5:30 p.m. I'm like, no, 5:30 a.m. Yeah. You come in to work out with me, right? And then we're going to have our coffee. So, but for the men who are struggling like Roma, and I'm talking about not Roma who came out of the 5 Ventures. I'm talking about Roma who came out from the first time he was incarcerated, right? And he can talk about that later, what that felt like. But the idea is, people come out, and I'm not saying blanket statement, go pick someone off the street and go bring him into F3. I'm talking about reach out, check him out, and say, here's an opportunity. When people come out, they'll come out. If people will stay, they will stay. Between the 2 of us, we might have brought at least a dozen men into F3. Maybe 3 or 4 of them stayed. It's okay. The people who need to stay, they will stay. But the chances are when they did not stay, it was because they were not really supported by the PACs. They still felt like the outsiders, either because of the race, either because of their background. And in general, the idea of like, hey, we have a mission to bring all men together, right? How do we explicitly talk about it that is not about just the workout, where we do it great? Right. And that's where what I want to bring in is this idea of the fellowship and faith aspect of F3. And the way I describe faith is something to be motivated by something above yourself.
Yeah,
right?
Bigger than yourself. Right.
Bigger than yourself.
Something bigger than yourself.
So the challenge that I want for this conversation and for all of you guys out there is just to reframe it, right? and to say that bringing people from the formerly incarcerated specifically, and engaging that population, you can also bring formerly homeless and so forth, right?
Yep.
Is part of our mission, of the direct mission of creating these workout groups for men for invigoration of male community leadership. So it fits directly, and it is something that is part of the faith aspect of the of RF3, right? Do unto what you do unto least of us, we do unto all of us, right? So the idea here is I'm challenging all of you to think outside the box with your SLT.
Yeah.
Think outside the box.
Yeah.
How do we bring in? Yes. We bring in the people from our direct neighborhood. How do we go out? And I want to give small example. Pipeline, one of our guys on the on the East Coast, he helped organize an AO at a homeless shelter, and as a result, that has changed hundreds of lives. So be creative, and specifically with the formerly incarcerated, you gotta find them and then support them. We'll talk about how to find them in a second, but that's the key.
I only got a few more minutes left. I love you
Go for
teasing. I love you teasing all these things you want to talk about, but I only have a few more
That's
minutes
all right.
left.
That's all right.
So we might have to have part 2, or here's what we do. Stuff worth trying, guys. IJ, Tommy Boy, if you're listening, obviously these guys have a lot to talk about that fits that stuff worth trying bucket. Let's extend this conversation out there, have it going a little bit longer. Roma, before we go, with the time that we have left, I love Pure Lead. You need to get your own show too, bro. You're a host. Like, you're a host, whether you are. So
Yeah,
I know.
Let's get this guy doing something else.
Both of us. Go for it.
Before we go, how is life now, man? I mean, this is quite a turnaround, right? Like, what's life for you? Like, give us a little bit of that now, right? We know the was, but give us a little bit of what life for Roma's like now, because it is a great story.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's kind of hard, to try to foresee what your future is going to be sitting behind those walls. You have all these grandiose plans and ideas of what you want to do, but you don't know what's actually going to happen. So yeah, got involved with F3 as soon as I got out. That was a huge blessing. From there, as I mentioned, I landed an internship at a local tech consulting company, ran through a F3 PAX, which was awesome. It got me my foot in the door. And then I developed a resource application for formerly incarcerated individuals in California, which was awesome because I was able to use my coding skills that I learned in prison to apply to an actual project. So here I was, not even a year out of release, building this application for a company, and kind of set me off from there. Was able to land a couple software engineering roles, and then eventually opened up 2 companies. Victory Code, which is a tech consulting company for formerly incarcerated people. I see what tech has done to my life, and I want to share it with other formerly incarcerated individuals that are getting out as well. We teach digital literacy courses. And then my other one, I run a nonprofit called New Freedom for individuals getting out. I recently moved to Texas, loving it down here. They got F3's awesome. They're pretty big. Been able to get involved with the SLT here and just think about how we could make an impact. I've already went inside of the county jail, and they had a similar event, so got to experience that down here in Texas. And yeah, I have one baby girl and another one coming in like a week.
Come on, dude. Let's go.
I got a little boy, a little
there we go.
Cherry tomato expected week or 2. So looking forward to that. The life is awesome, man. I couldn't ask for anything better, and just really thankful for Pure Lead and F3 and all that it's able to do on my life and the men around me.
More to come with these guys. Both are on the F3 Nation Slack machine, right? So if you're in F3 Nation Slack, you're like, you know what? I want to keep this conversation going. I want to get Pure Lead on the phone. I want to talk to Roma more about this. I want to Zoom these guys in. Maybe I'm going to voluntold you guys. I'm going to Zoom these guys into my SLT to talk more about this. I know both would be ready, willing, and able to do it. Brothers, I love you both. It was great to see you. I wish we had more time. I mean, I got as much time as we need, but we got certain kind of time constraints. I love you both, and I'm so grateful for the 2 of you.
All right. Thanks so much, Hello Kitty. See you in the
Take care, man.
See you, fellas.
Yeah.
Amazing. Incredible. Pure Lead and Roma, 2 high-impact men brought together by, I think, providential influence. And, man, seen a lot of great comments from the PAX here walking through. And I think, part of the conversation is to be thinking through what's going on? What are you doing in your region, like they said, to reach more, to extend this thing out? What does the first F look like to make it available for men, right? To make it available at times they can be there, to make it available in communities and where they are. What does that second F look like? If it's all happy hours and drinking, that doesn't reach every man. What does the third F look like? If it's all Bible studies as a Christian, I'm telling you, if it's all Bible studies, that doesn't reach every guy. There's got to be other things that are offered that continue to expand this and make it more available, as long as that all of what you're doing checks the boxes of accelerating the mission, invigorating male community leadership, free, open to all men, held outdoors, rain or shine, hot or cold, right? Pure lead. Pure lead's got me on it. Pure lead by Pure Lead in a rotating fashion ends in the circle of trust, right? Do those things and then take that fitness, fellowship, and faith and make it available for all and actively pursue. Great discussion with those guys. Really grateful for them and grateful for the feedback of you guys as you're watching online. Let me take a quick commercial break. I got so much more stuff to get to. We're going to hear from Dark Helmet on the Joe DeSena Spartan podcast. We're going to check in with Dagger. We're going to check in with the Keystone Convergence in Columbus, Ohio, doing big things. But let me take a quick break, catch a breath, slug some water out of my F3 branded Bison cooler here, and we'll be right back on the F3 Circle of Trust show.
Welcome to F3, Fitness, Fellowship, and Faith, where men come together for something more than just a workout. Our core principles define us: free of charge, open to all men, held outdoors, pure lead, and end in a circle of trust. Whether you want to run, lift heavy things, or focus on bodyweight exercises, F3 has over 4,000 workouts available worldwide. Join us, experience the camaraderie, the challenge, and the transformation of F3, where men can get right so that they can lead right.
Hi, Joel Maurer, founder of Dink Ninjas. Dink Ninjas was dreamed up and started right here in Austin, Texas, a dynamic pickleball community. We arm pickleballers with the paddles, apparel, and accessories to dink like a ninja. Dink Ninjas is dedicated to supporting mental health awareness and cancer research. Shop our full lineup at dinkninjas.com.
Are you searching for connection? Do you struggle with loneliness? There is hope. We are F3, Fitness, Fellowship, Faith. Our mission is to plant, grow, and serve small workout groups for men for the invigoration of male community leadership. We have 5 core principles.
Free of charge, open to all men, held outdoors, rain or shine, pure lead, and it ends in a circle of trust.
Go to f3nation.com.
I bet you'll be saying pure lead for the next few days instead of pure lead. Oh, man, outstanding. If you're just tuning in now, go back and listen to that amazing conversation with Pure Lead and Roma. Grateful for those of you watching online with us as we're live here on a Thursday afternoon. And for those of you listening across the podcast atmosphere, checking it all in. I have more news to get through across the F3 nation of ours. And man, so grateful for the guys in the comms department for always churning out a great newsletter. Tons of great content in this week. So go to f3nation.com, sign up for that newsletter. Incredible video in there talking about impact out of F3 Plainfield. Our man Puddles, man, shared his soul in the COT. They captured it all on video. You guys are going to definitely want to go watch that. And then just great stuff like seeing pics from the packs. Timber showed the guys of, I think they're down in Georgia somewhere. No, you know what? F3 Tulsa, my bad. Showed the guys of F3 Tulsa and their shorties how to pull a truck in the coveted Porter Peach Festival Parade. 20 him and about a dozen shorties pulled their strength and pulled an HD 2500 through beautiful downtown Porter, Oklahoma, handing out F3 Tulsa business cards to sad clowns along the route. Talked about fitness, fellowship, and faith. Keep giving it away, fellas. Good job, guys, pulling the stinking truck through a parade. Absolutely love that. And you heard me talk about it before the break, but our man, the Nantan of F3 Nation, Dark Helmet, made an appearance on Joe DeSena's Spartan podcast. And give you a little teaser from it so you can see what Helmet was talking about a little bit. Where's my video of that? What are the chances I got it ready to go? Here it is right here. Here's Dark Helmet talking with Joe DeSena. Just a little teaser from their appearance on the Spartan podcast.
There is literally nothing that is going to change your life in the same way as if you just do. Just get up and move. You don't need anything. It doesn't cost, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to make yourself better. What it costs is the discipline and the drive to try and get something more. And when a man understands that, pretty much all objections melt away.
Welcome to the Hard Way podcast with Joe DeSena, founder and CEO of Spartan Races. We're teaching you how to overcome.
So once you get done listening to this and all your F3 shows, obviously, go check out Become an Unstoppable Spartan with Frank Schwartz, better known as Dark Helmet across the F3 gloom, and show him some love. And man, let's keep spreading this thing. We love when we're able to take what we're doing to like-minded organizations, individuals. And man, Joe DeSena is definitely one of those kind of hard charging guys. Man, some other shout outs we got to give out. How about props to our man Dagger out of the Charlotte metro area? He said, man, we got signed up for this breast cancer awareness walk. We decided we're going to try to do 24 hours rucking. You can see Dagger there on the left, and then Snoop there in the orange shirt. Snoop and Dagger there walking through. I think Dagger made about 30 miles in. Gave in about 4:30 in the morning. I think Snoop made it like 43 miles into this thing, representing F3 along the way. So brothers, absolutely love to see that and the great work you put in there. We'll give him one more shout out before we check in on a few more video updates. This message came to us from Funny Car, talked about it earlier, out of F3 Hampton Roads. And he said, this message recently shared on the F3 Hampton Roads Slack by Pellegrino61 Honor. Thought I'd like to share it on the COT. Pellegrino first posted on November the 30th, 2023. He since posted over 120 times. When he first posted, he mostly walked and had to modify. Since May 25th, he's posting 7 days a week. He's lost 65 pounds. He'll jog a 5K 3 times a week. Just totally inspired. But here's what Pellegrino had said. I want to say thank you to all the packs who brought and kept F3 Hampton Roads alive, active, and running strong in our community. F3 Hampton Roads has changed my life, and without any question, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. The camaraderie, the fellowship, and faith and fitness feels like it was God sent to me exactly in the time of my need. This group of men have welcomed me at every post that I've participated in. So many thanks, and just thanks to all those guys who helped me understand what the lingo is, how our workouts work, helped me by adding me to the Slack. Simply put, F3 Hampton Roads is an amazing group of men. I feel very blessed to be outside every morning with the packs. And there's just a photo of him from his 50th post when they give them what they call in their region, they let you add your name to Lady Glitter Sparkles. That's the post there. Always creative ways from the packs. Absolutely love that. And then saw a pair of conversions. There's convergence happening all over the F3 nation of ours, especially during summertime, man, throughout the whole course of the year. So I've got a pair to show you. We'll check in with F3 Columbus first, and then Red Baron's going to check in from the Keystone Convergence, but saw this video make its way across the Twitter machine, and the F3 COT podcast was tagged in that. So check out what the boys of F3 Columbus, Ohio were getting into over this past weekend. Man, if you're listening on the podcast, go back and rewatch on Facebook or YouTube. You can see that video. Looked like they had some shorties in tow, probably some FNGs in tow, a bunch of sweaty dudes drinking coffee afterwards. Always something you love to see, but not to be outdone. You move across the Rust Belt from the great state of Ohio into Pennsylvania for the annual Keystone Convergence. Packs from all over the state of Pennsylvania all come together for one big, massive day of F3 activities, including Third F events. And the nation's general, none other than Red Baron, checking in with the Keystone Convergence After Action Report.
Hello, Kitty and Repeato. Hey, it's Red Baron checking in with you from the Keystone State with a back blast for the 4th annual Keystone Convergence, which was just held this past weekend. We started things off on Friday evening with a second F event at Duke's, about 40 packs in attendance for some food, beverages, some fellowship. We even did a little mini grow school where we reviewed the G3L, and there's some great discussion with that. About 10:30 that night, 19 packs stepped off for the overnight ruck, covering about 14 miles. They did have an FNG with them, who they named Rat Tat Tui, with the emphasis on tat. And they even had a homeless man walk with them for a couple of miles. They rolled in the parking lot about 5:30 in the morning, just in time for the 0630 start time for the overall beatdown. The start of the beatdown was Dr. Seuss giving his infamous disclaimer, which you've either played for the Packs or he will be playing for the Packs here. It was freaking awesome. 8 stations of pain around City Island. Good times were had by all. Part of the convergence was going to be, again, the awarding of the Freedom Hammer, and the Freedom Hammer basically rotates around the different regions in Pennsylvania, and you've got to win it via some type of competition. Competition was a trivia event based on Q-Source. F3 Snacktown and Lanco tied. To break that tie, each region picked 1 PAX to hold the Freedom Hammer at the very end of the handle so that the sledge is up above, and you had to hold your arm straight out, and that was for time. Bunyan went first from Lanco, put in a time of about 42 seconds, and G-Money from Snacktown came in and just crushed it. And we brought the Freedom Hammer back to Snacktown again. We followed that up with Cafeteria and then some remarks by Dark Helmet. He was our guest speaker this year. His basic message to all of us was that we are all Keystones. We're all designed to work best under pressure. We're there to uphold the loads that we need to hold up and to take care of our families and our communities. And we work best when we work under pressure, and that was a message to all of the PACs. Great words. We then had our community service project with Wild Heart Ministries. We've partnered with them for the last 3 years. We go to a place in Harrisburg called Allison Hill. And this year, again, like we've done in the past years, we cleaned out about 6 lots with trash and weeds and all that kind of stuff. And then they graciously feed us some pizza afterwards, and then people were back on the road. So overall, great event. We had 77 PACs at the beatdown, to include 1 FNG. And when he told us that he worked in IT, we appropriately named him CrowdStrike. Get it? Yeah. So, great event. We'll do it again next year. You guys got to come up and participate. Hey, I got to go.
Good stuff, RB. Thanks as always. Let me check in with the PACs before we take one more break, and then we got that Hum for Wellness to wrap up the show. I see you, Dave Bradley, Black Swamp Toledo. Holy Toledo. Dave, you're right. Love that, man. Who else is checking in here? Hello from Northwest Arkansas. Yo, Adrian. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Otto from F3 Charleston in the house. Good to have you on board as well. How about 12th man there from North Houston? Yeah, we saw your guy Roma on there, as always. Yeah, I agree, Bronx. Great discussion with those guys. Great discussion with those guys. And, man, we got to challenge each other, right? We got to step up and keep doing more. How about this? Happy birthday to our PAX. Grouse has his 46th birthday tomorrow. A BDQ coming up. Love a birthday Q. Hit him with 46 side straddle hops right out the gate. That's how you know it's someone's birthday. You get over 20, 25 SSHs, and you know it's somebody's birthday, and they're chiming them in. What's up, KC Mo? Good to see you, brother, as always. And 3D, my man from the fort. Good to have you on with us on the Facebook machine as well. All right, let me take one more quick break. I'll be right back. We've got your Hunt for Wellness on this week's Circle of Trust podcast. We'll be right back.
5 core principles of F3 are that it's free, it's open to all men, it's held outdoors rain or shine, peer-led in a rotating fashion, and always ends in a circle of trust.
Welcome to Family Farms, where our culinary journey is woven with passion, dedication, and a commitment to crafting the finest bacon-wrapped chicken, a timeless delicacy that has tantalized the taste buds since 1974. At Family Farms, we're more than just a traditional name. We've evolved into purveyors of gourmet delights. Join us on this flavorful adventure, where every bite tells a story of tradition, quality, and the enduring spirit of family farms.
Back in the good old days, we used to have these large yellow books delivered right to our doorstep that gave us phone numbers of businesses and services that could meet our needs. The only problem is, we didn't know if we could trust any of them. Well, thanks to F3, we are connected with incredible PACs in our local communities. But what we don't necessarily have is a listing of the businesses of those PACs. Introducing the F3 Warrior Biz Network, where you can connect with PACs in your local community or from coast to coast throughout this great nation. You can connect with other biz PACs to meet your needs, or if you're a business owner, you can register your own business so that other PACs know about the services that you provide. Through the Warrior Biz Network, you have reliability and you have connectivity, and you can sign up today to represent your business or to find other businesses that you can trust. Join the Warrior Biz Network today at warriorbiznetwork.com.
Welcome back to the F3 Circle of Trust, rounding out a big program today. Man, great stuff. Honored and grateful for Roma and Pure Lead coming on the top of the show there. Talk about not just only their friendship, brotherhood, and journey. Put a little challenge out to the PACs to go into underserved communities, keep to spread this thing far and wide. And man, lots of good stuff. So grateful if you're watching us live or if you're checking back in on us across the replays. Share this thing, send it to some buddies, send it to your PACs in your region. Hey man, weekly news roundup. You guys can be a part of it. Email us COT@f3nation.com. Call that hotline 844-4COT PACs. That's how Red Baron got on the show. Be a part of it, or get on the social media while you're watching the show and comment and be a part of it like those guys are as well. A big part of what we do every single week is working to equip you men with all that you might need to know in your health and wellness. And there is a stalwart provider that he goes by the name of F3 Bones, Dr. Tunis Hunt, with the weekly Hunt for Wellness. And look, summertime, the sun's out. You've been hitting the beach, the pool, the lake, whatever. We got to worry about skincare, man. We got to worry about sunburns. So my man, Dr. Bones, coming through with this week's Hunt for Wellness, talking about sunburns.
Hello, COT Podcast. It's another great day for wellness. This is Bones with a health tip for the PACs of F3 Nation. PACs, it's good to be back with you on the COT Podcast. I've been downrange the last couple of weeks enjoying some much-needed vacation. And I spent the majority of that time with my toes in the water, ass in the sand, and not a worry in the world, and of course a cold beverage in my hand. Life was truly good, except that I may have gotten too much sun. Yep, while soaking up that vitamin D, I also got plenty of sunshine and unfortunately a little sunburn. Now, I have mentioned on previous shows the importance of getting sunshine, but too much of it can lead to skin damage and other health concerns. That is why it's always better to take measures to avoid sunburn. But what do you do if you happen to burn a little? There are countless remedies one can turn to, including aloe, lotions, and cold presses. But one that I have recently learned about and decided to try was beef tallow. Yep, that amazing substance that many choose to cook with turns out to be an excellent moisturizer for the skin. I simply applied some beef tallow on my sunburn, and by the next morning, I was no longer sore and instead golden brown. Now, full disclosure, I do tan very easily, and if you are more fair-skinned, you may not experience as radical of a result. But I have seen many testimonials of individuals who swear using tallow as a great moisturizer and burn remedy. I have actually been using tallow as a face moisturizer for the past 30 days and have really enjoyed it. Tallow won't clog your pores, and because it's completely natural, you don't have to worry about other harmful chemicals soaking into your skin. So PACs, next time you have a little sunburn, try putting some beef tallow on it. Not only will it help eliminate the burn, but it can actually hydrate and repair your skin. Kitty and Repeato, you boys should lather up in some beef tallow. Keep up the good work, man. This has been Bones guiding the packs of F3 Nation on their hunt for wellness. Gotta go.
Listen, don't threaten me with a good time, Bones. Do not threaten me with a good time. Follow-up question I would ask if he was live is, I guess I could open up a jar of beef tallow and give it a smell. Do you smell of meat and cheese afterwards? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Just wondering what the permeation from the skin is like when you've lathered yourself up in beef tallow. And do you end up looking sort of like Kramer from the episode of Seinfeld where he butters himself up for a good shave or to go out on the rooftop? But no. All jokes aside, Bones, absolutely love it. Tangible information that the packs can either choose to incorporate in their lives or not. But he's always giving you guys good info to think about in ways in which you can be on your hunt for wellness. All right, that will wrap us up for this week's show. Big time, almost pushing an hour. Grateful for you guys hanging out with us. You've been watching the whole time. Hope it was fun. Hope you learned a little bit. Hope you got challenged. And as always, if another man hasn't told you this today, I love you. The nation sure the heck does. Go out there, keep getting after it. We'll see you next week on the F3 Circle of Trust. This has been the COT Podcast, connecting the packs of F3 Nation to something bigger than themselves. Please rate and review our show. Follow us on Twitter at F3COT Podcast and connect with the show at COT@F3Nation.com or by leaving us a voicemail at 844-4COT-PACKS. I'm Brian Jodis, 42, Hello Kitty.
And I'm Jamie Roseborough, 40, Repeato.
And this has been the Circle of Trust Podcast.